Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for February 8th, 2017. It's currently 10 a.m. and we have a major winter storm on the way. Well, winter storm warnings issued throughout much of the region with the exception of southern New Jersey, right around Cape May and Atlantic City, where we do have winter weather advisories. So you might be saying to yourself, Stephen, it's 59, 60 degrees in Philadelphia. What are you talking about 6 inches of snow? Well, God love weather, right? What's happening is that we are currently having a warm front that's pretty much stalled out over central New Jersey. And just after that warm front, very warm temperatures are in place, with temperatures ranging from the upper 50s to lower 60s. To the north of the warm front, temperatures range anywhere from the mid 30s over portions of the Hudson River Valley, like around Poughkeepsie, to the lower to mid 40s over the southern coast of Connecticut, and upper 40s to lower 50s in the New York City metro. So we have a pretty impressive thermal gradient already set up here. Then we have the cold front, which is right about here. This cold front will bring in the initial modified polar air mass, where temperatures are going to be falling off into the 40s. But you haven't seen anything yet, because then our real cold air is back here towards the Ohio River Valley, where temperatures are falling into the 30s. So what we're going to basically be seeing for the rest of the day is once this cold front moves through in the afternoon, temperatures will steadily fall through the 50s, through the 40s, into the 30s tonight, and by tomorrow morning we're talking about temperatures bottoming out in the mid to upper 20s with heavy snow falling, with an impressive storm right off the coast. Like I said, you gotta love meteorology, right? So on the radar right now, pretty much high and dry. The cold front that's moving through really isn't packing much of a punch, but I wanted to show you the precipitation back in the Ohio River Valley to kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at here. As this cold front and the secondary cold front moves through the region, you're going to start to see precipitation break out behind the cold front. Now, initially, almost everyone's going to be starting off as rain. But notice how that cold air is trying to bleed south in this precipitation shield right here. The same type of scenario is going to start to take place for our locations by the time we get to tomorrow morning. And so what you're going to see is that you're going to start off with rain, sleet, snow, and that gradually turns over to a wet snow. And once it turns over, you're going to feel it because temperatures are going to be crashing while it's doing so. And that's going to lead to periods of moderate to heavy snowfall throughout the region tomorrow morning. So obviously the rush hour tomorrow morning is not going to be pretty. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see that warm front pretty much stalled out. This low pressure system won't have any impact. It will continue to head out into the Atlantic. This is the initial cold front that will move through. We have our secondary cold front back here. This will swing through tonight. Not much in the way of precipitation is expected with these cold fronts, but you're going to see that you're going to feel those temperatures fall as winds veer from the southwest to the west and eventually to the north, drawing that cold air southward. So let's dive into this forecast because this is going to be one to break down. So let's cover all of the parts of this storm so that way you can be prepared. For this afternoon, the cold front will be moving through the region. Not much in the way of showers. Can't rule out an isolated shower here or there. Your high temperatures ahead of this cold front will range anywhere from the upper 40s to lower 50s to the north of the warm front, and to the south of the warm front, anywhere from the lower to mid 60s. And then temperatures, that's right, lower to mid, you're talking about 65 degrees in southwest New Jersey before the temperatures start to fall. Then temperatures start to free fall throughout the rest of the afternoon, through the 50s, through the 40s this evening. And as that cold air is building in, look for clouds to start to increase. By tonight, you'll start to see precipitation building off to the west of the region, more towards the Ohio River Valley, central and southern Pennsylvania, western Pennsylvania, down towards the southern mid-Atlantic as this low pressure system starts to organize itself. By midnight tonight, this low pressure system will be organizing around the North Carolina-Virginia border. You're going to see precipitation break out throughout the region, starting off as rain and mixing over to sleet and snow. And then finally, by tomorrow morning, almost all locations are heavy snow, very heavy snow, with temperatures. Now remember, we start up at 65. By tomorrow, we'll be in the mid to upper 20s for lows. As during the heart of this storm, when this storm is really cranking around 7 a.m., it is going to be that cold. You're talking about what, a 40-degree drop in temperatures in some locations before this storm really gets rolling. So that is why this storm is going to be so impressive, because consider this. You're going to have a wet ground, and temperatures are going to be freezing to below freezing. Watch out for black ice. That's going to be in place on top of the heavy snow that's going to be forming in the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area. So you're talking about slick and icy roadways with a flash freeze, followed by periods of heavy snow. And by the way, did I forget to mention tomorrow morning, winds will be cranking from the north at 15 to 30 miles per hour. The good news is that this storm is moving fast. And by the time we get to the evening rush hour, this storm will be long gone. It'll be rapidly intensifying, but it will be long gone. So by around 5 p.m., most locations, in fact, let me rephrase that. By 1 p.m. in the Philadelphia metro, skies will be clearing. By 5 p.m. in the New York City metro, skies will be clearing. So in other words, the evening rush hour will be okay. There will be some delays, obviously, because of what happened, but your real impacts are going to be in the morning hours, where you're going to see this significant heavy snowfall. And by the way, with this low pressure system, with the strong winds, you're going to have visibilities below a mile. So it is not going to be pretty. Also be prepared with this storm, with the potential for power outages. So that's our storm in a nutshell, evolving. And let me break down the impacts that I'm expecting. As you head up towards Scranton and up towards Poughkeepsie, I'm looking anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of snow. You're really outside the bands of heaviest snowfall, but you're still going to see a steady snowfall. Most of the precipitation will be in the form of snow. As you head further south towards Lancaster, Allentown, Philadelphia, New York City, New Haven, Hartford, Islip, Long Island, this is where I'm expecting 6 to 12 inches of snow. Now, this is going to be a very interesting area to watch as the storm develops, because everyone's going to start off with rain. It's going to mix over to snow and sleet, and then it's going to go over to heavy snow. With that process and with this storm moving very quickly, the key to the accumulation totals is going to be, where do those mesoscale bands set up? Let me put it to you like this. Let's say you're in a thunderstorm in the summer, and when you get one of those very heavy rainfalls where you get an inch of rain in about 30 minutes, that's the type of snowfall rates we're talking about. 1 to 3 inch types, 1 to 3 inch snowfall rates per hour type of snow evolution. So not everyone's going to get 12 inches. Not everyone in this area is going to get 6 inches, in fact. The way this is going to set up is that this area in blue that I have highlighted here is basically going to see bands of intense snowfall. Outside of those bands, look for light snow and sleet. Inside those bands, it is going to be pouring snow. It's really difficult to detail exactly where those bands are going to set up, as far as pinpointing a town, but the evolution of the storm as such is going to lead to the development where you're going to see pockets of one town, 5, 6 inches of snow, let's say New Haven, and then up towards Hartford, you end up with 12 inches. Or better yet, New York City ends up with 8 inches of snow. Newark ends up with 12, 13 inches because of the location of a mesoscale band. That's kind of the setup. Now, as you head down, should I say, towards Philadelphia, right around this area right here, you're more likely to be around that 6-inch mark, okay? So let's say Northern Ocean County, back towards the Philadelphia metro, more than likely you're going to be around that 6-inch mark, because you're going to see a prolonged period of sleet and rain and snow before pure snow takes over. But you are right on that border, that thermal gradient, that sets you up for the potential for heavy bands of snow to still impact your operations, your locations. So in the Philadelphia metro, you're still at threat. I would not be surprised if North Philadelphia ends up with 10 inches of snow and South Philadelphia ends up with 4 inches of snow. That is how tight that gradient is going to be right in this area right here. Same thing for Lancaster. More than likely you're going to see 6 inches of snow, but you're going to be at threat for those bands of heavy snow, thus leading to the potential to get up to those 12 inches of snow that is possible. In New York City and Long Island, you're going to go over to snow much faster. And in these locations, you have the opportunity to potentially go over 12 inches of snow in some pockets because this storm is going to change over to snow much earlier than it will in Philadelphia. So those of you in New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, you're at that threat where you're most likely going to blast through 6 inches of snow and go over into that potential of going over 12 inches in some of those isolated heavy bands of snow. So the overall theme here, when you combine this snowfall rate with the potential for strong winds, is stay home if you don't have to travel tomorrow morning because it is going to be ugly. As you head down towards south central New Jersey, let's say around to southern Ocean County down through Atlantic City, look into south of Philadelphia, look at 3 to 6 inches of snow, and then towards Cape May and extreme southern New Jersey, about 1 to 3 inches of snow. So again, it's going to be a pretty impressive storm. But the good news is that it clears out. Temperatures don't move tomorrow. We're basically staying in the mid-20s to lower 30s, basically 26 to 31 all day tomorrow. On Friday, clear out, high pressure's in control, a little bit windy, winds from the northwest around 15 to 25 miles per hour, decreasing to 10 to 20 miles per hour. Look for lows in the mid to upper teens, highs in the upper 20s to lower 30s. So that snow isn't going anywhere just yet. On Saturday, a warm front will move through with some rain and snow showers. Not looking all that impressive as far as precipitation, but watch out for some slick road conditions. Lows in the mid 20s, highs in the mid 40s, starting to get that snow to melt. On Sunday, another warm front will move through. Periods of showers are expected. Lows in the mid 30s, highs in the upper 40s to lower 50s. On Monday, a cold front will move through the region with periods of showers. Lows in the mid 30s, highs in the mid to upper 40s. And on Tuesday, high pressure will be in place with scattered cloud cover, lows in the upper 20s, highs in the lower 40s. And on Wednesday, a cold front will approach the region with some scattered rain and snow showers. Look for lows in the upper 20s to lower 30s, highs in the upper 30s to lower 40s. And just to throw this in there as a bonus, we're not done with winter yet. We still have, I think, 1 or 2 more winter storm threats to deal with before winter is done and then spring starts to show up towards the end of February, the last week of February into March is when I think we start to see a nice transition and very mild conditions take hold. But before we get to that point, buckle up. It's going to be a crazy ride. Thank you for following NYNJPA weather, and as always, stay safe out there. One additional note, we will have live coverage throughout the morning tomorrow on this storm to keep you posted on the evolution of this storm, where the rain snow line is, how the storm's evolving. We'll have hourly updates on Twitter, and for you premium members out there, we'll have premium live coverage throughout the morning as the storm takes shape. Thank you, and as always, like I said, stay safe out there.